here we go. 1.4. We are doing properties of real numbers. So first I want to talk about the different properties. How I'm going to have you remember them right now. And as you go through the grades, we're going to add a little more and a little more. Okay? So, first one is called the commutative property. The commutative property is A plus B equals B plus A. So if you think about commutes, somebody commutes to work, they're moving around, right? So what happens in the property is things move around. They change places. That's all it is. So commutative means to move. All right? Yes, sir.
So what do they mean by B plus A? So you add B and A together, and get your answer.
It's just showing that you can write it either way and then equal the same.
Right.
Okay.
Yes. So 3 plus 4 is the same as 4 plus 3. Okay? All right. All right, next one we have is the associative property. Associative is exactly what that is, associating or grouping things together. So the associative property might be A plus B and then plus C, and now we're going to group something different together. A plus B plus C. The associative property puts parentheses on different things, but everything is in the same order. So nothing's moved, just the parentheses. Okay? The distributive property. The distributive property has something outside the parentheses, but then, because you're multiplying everything inside the parentheses disappear. So you have AB plus AC. So if you come across a property where you have parentheses on one side and none on the other, automatically that's a distributive property. Okay? All right. Next one I want to talk about is the identity. The identity is the super easy one. Whatever you start with, you finish with. So for example, if I have A plus 0, I'm going to get
0. 0 plus A.
I'm going to get A. If I have A times 1, I'm again going to get A. So the identity is whatever you start with, you finish with.
So let's say I have 31 times 1, I get 31.
Correct.
31 plus 0, I get 31.
Correct.
But I can do 31 plus 2.
Correct.
Okay.
Identity means that you're yourself, right?
Now you get the hang of it. Okay.
All right. The next one we have is the inverse property. Maybe. Inverse. Inverse property means that you are taking something and its opposite. So for example, if I have A plus a negative A, I'm going to end up with 0. Right? If I have 3 plus negative 3, I get 0. If I have A times 1 over A, just like if I have 2 times 1 over 2, I get 1. Right? Those A's cancel? All right, that's the inverse property. It's all right. We're going to work on this. No problem. The last one is the easiest one of all. It's the zero property. The zero property is if I have A plus 0, I get A. If I have A times 0, I get 0.
So you're always getting 0. Hold up, but that's the same thing as the identity.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So it's more they use it more in multiplication, but that's what it is. It's just that you're either adding 0 or multiplying by 0. It's the same. I know. I know. Mhm. You can. Or you can start. This is the main one we use. Yeah. No. No. We haven't even done anything yet.
I've never heard like 5 out of 10 of these.
All right. Here we go with example number 1. So on the first problems in your homework, 8 through 12. All right. I'm going to ask you to name the property. All right. So maybe it has 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 2 plus 4 plus 3. It is commutative. Very good, Keegan. All right. So how did you know it was a commutative property? Very good. All right. Let's try this one. What if I had 4 plus 5 plus 6 equals 4 plus 5 plus 6? This is the associative. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, I know how everybody loves to abbreviate. If you abbreviate this to 3 letters, I will mark it wrong. Okay? If you abbreviate this to 3 letters, I will mark it wrong. I'm telling you straight up. Just give me at least 5 letters and you're fine. Only you, Euster. Only you. All right. How about... I don't even know what to say. All right. Let's do one more. What if I had... how about 9 times 1/9 equals 1? Inverse. Very good. All right. Example number 2. Is everybody ready? Example number 2. This is going to cover our 14 through 18. Now, here's where I need you listening for a second. It says in the directions mental math. However, because I cannot read your mind yet, I need you to put your work down. Okay? I need to know exactly what it is you're doing. All right? So, for example, if I have, let's say, 10 times 2 times 17 times 5. All right? And you wanted to do this in your head without grabbing a calculator. What would we switch around to make this a little easier? What do you think?
I would switch around preferably 5 and 2. Then you have 10 times 7 and 2 times 5. Huh? 17. I didn't see that 17 there.
Okay, so you can see we have a lot of different ideas out there. That's why I need you to show me what you do. I personally would switch 17 and 5. Here's why. This is why I would do. I would 10 times 2 times 5 times 17. So then I would go 10 times 2, which is 20. 20 times 5 is 100. And then 100 times 17? 1700. Okay, that's what I would choose to do. You might choose to do something different. But that's why I need you to write down what you would do mentally. Because, again, I can't read your mind, and for some of you, I don't think I'd want to. All right? As I look right at you. Probably. Let's try another one. What if I had 0.25 times 13 times 4? Very good. 0.25 times 4 times 13. 0.25 times 4 is what? 1. 1 times 13 is? 13. Very good. So are these hard? Of course not. I just need to know what you are thinking. Okay? Well, no, as long as you do the work, you're good. So when I'm moving things around, what property have I just used on both of these? The commutative property. Very good.
There's never a wrong answer in mystery class as long as you have the word.
I don't know if I can totally say that. All right. Example number 3. Example number 3 goes with 20 through 30. In the directions, it says to simplify the expression. And then after it says simplify the expression, it says justify each step. Here's what I'm going to ask you. I need you just to justify one step. Tell me one property you use when you're simplifying, okay? So, for example, let's say I have, how about 3 plus 9.5x plus 2. And I want to simplify this. What's one thing I can do to begin with? What would you want to do, Brooklyn?
Add what's inside the parentheses together.
Well, those are not like terms, are they? So can I add those together?
No.
So switch what? Okay, so let's switch the 2 and the 9.5. All right, so I have 3 plus 2 plus 9.5x. So since those switch places, but the parentheses, although they group something different, the parentheses stayed in the same place, what property would you call that? I would say commutative because they change places. But you are grouping something different, so if you said associative, I'd be okay. So I'm going to say the commutative property is what I just used. All right, so now I just have to add 3 plus 2? 5 plus 9.5x. All right? So you're just simplifying it as far as you can, but justify one step is all I'm asking for. All right? Okay, I want to do one more in the same section real quick. Let me clarify something. So let's say I have 9x over x times y. Talk about what that actually means. This is 9 times x on top, right? Times by, on the bottom, this is 1 over x times 1 over y. Does everybody see how those two are exactly the same? Right? You multiply across the top, you multiply across the bottom. All right, so now that I've written it that way, and I choose to multiply my 2 in the middle together, what property is that? Inverse property. So by the inverse property, this is going to be 9 times 1 times 1 over y, or this is going to equal 9 over y. Okay? Probably a good reason I gave you that example. Probably. All right, and then the last couple problems you have today, 32 and 34. It's just coming up with a counterexample for what they're asking you to do. All right? So you can handle that. Yeah, I just want a counterexample. Okay? All right. So you guys still have more than 10 minutes. Perfect time for us to walk around and help you.